Chapter 82. You are listening at novelfull.audio. From this point of view, the possibility of Konoha is relatively low, although they have the strength to quickly organize an attack abroad, and according to the style of the consultant, Vitamin N, it is also possible to launch this conspiracy, if he survives his knife. But if Konoha, which is in a clear hostile state with him, wants to target him, there is no need to use only hired rebels from beginning to end. He can invest his own Umbu forces to attack together, and finally kill the rebels. However, considering that Konoha must be in a state of chaos now, and Danzo's root organization has been almost completely destroyed by him, it cannot be ruled out that Konoha really has no power to use. Another possibility is naturally the hidden cloud village. Don't look at the past, they have met with smiles on the surface. But putting on a smile on the surface and stabbing in the back is basically the basic operation of the major ninja villages. What's more, they have enough motivation to do so. After all, going to the Hidden Mist Village in this way will only increase the power of the Hidden Mist Village. As a country adjacent to the Land of Water, the strategic situation of the Land of Thunder will naturally be affected. This can also explain why the other party has always only hired rebel ninjas and refused to do it themselves, that is to avoid a complete fallout after failure. Of course, although the above two factors are taken into consideration, in Yang No's mind, the most likely to do these things is the Kirigakure village where they are going to join. Yes, sometimes things are so magical. Although the Kirigakure village's previous persecution of the bloodline family was carried out under the manipulation of Uchiha Obito, now according to Uchiha Obito, he has lost control of the fourth-generation Mizukage, so the persecution of the Uchiha clan, one of the bloodline families, should also stop. Besides, those so-called persecutions are all carried out in secret, often manifested as bottom-up hostility between villagers and ordinary ninjas. Except for explicit rebellion, no ninja village will openly say that it wants to persecute the bloodline family, and there is no reason to reject such a powerful force as the Uchiha clan. Well, although it is theoretically true, but considering that even Obito, who once controlled him, does not know the mental state of the fourth generation Mizukage. In addition, due to the closed-off nature, although the presence of the rebels in the Kirigakure is very high, the internal political structure is completely unknown to outsiders. She just asked Zabuza a few more questions and found that even for a rebel like Zabuza who had left the village only a few years ago, he could not figure out what the situation in the village had developed to. It seems that the place I am going to is really a den of dragons and tigers, Yang No said secretly. Finally, Yang No threatened Bai's life and put forward a condition to Zabuza, that is, as a rebel, he should accept her employment, and after ensuring that the Uchiha branch family successfully surrendered to the Kirigakure, he would not lose wealth and power. Zabuza was a rebel with no moral integrity, and he just betrayed his employer. At this moment, he agreed to Yang No's request without hesitation. After leaving the room where Zabuza was imprisoned, Yang No did not break his promise, but continued to ask Uchiha Hana to treat Bai. After that, she returned to her residence. When she passed by Kisame's room next to her, she suddenly had some calculations in her heart. After knocking on the half-broken door, Yang No entered leisurely with the consent of the owner. He found that Kisame had taken off his Akatsuki robe and was exercising his muscles in a dark tight suit. This scene was quite strange. A humanoid shark was lifting dumbbells, and no one knew where it came from. No wonder his strange strength could even suppress Guy for a while. Seeing the girl coming in, Kisame smiled. Did you get any information from Zabuza? Judging from the fact that you let him live, you wanted to recruit him as your subordinate? That's about right. Yang Nai said. I have a few guesses about who was behind the attack during the day. They are most likely some force in the Hidden Mist Village that doesn't want the Uchiha clan to join. Unfortunately, after so many years, I don't know much about the current situation in Kirigakure. Kisame said. In the Hidden Mist Village, apart from the fourth Mizukage, only the Elder Master is in power. I am not sure who planned this attack, but considering the state of the Hidden Mist Village, I would not be surprised by who it was. Yanori said. I do have a few guesses, but they all need to be verified by subsequent actions. No matter who our enemy is, they will definitely not just launch this attack. Perhaps in the subsequent actions of the enemy, we can see some flaws. Kisame smiled nonchalantly. I'm not good at these roundabout things, you just need to tell me where to go and who to cut. Yang Nai nodded. I have a plan. After saying that, she glanced at the door. The Uchiha Noma brothers were guarding her at the door and could hear their conversation. They were both people who could enter the decision-making circle, so Yang No didn't care about their hearing her conversation. This was both a kind of trust and some kind of encouragement. She asked the two men first. How are those rebel ninjas who participated in the attack that I asked you to hunt down? Uchiha Yama replied. Since the fog has cleared, their whereabouts have become easy to identify. We used our Sharingan to search for the 119 rebels, and none of them escaped. Except for Haku and Zabuza, who were asked by the adults, we killed them all. Very good. Yang No nodded, and she turned her gaze back to Kisame. Road. My plan will make it impossible for the Kirigakure high-level officials to ignore us. I have always felt strange that as the Uchiha who clearly requested to join the Hidden Mist Village, our people did not receive any official response from them, but now they must treat them with courtesy. The girl's words were a bit confusing, and Kisame didn't understand and asked. What can we do? It's very simple. We will return Zabuza to the Hidden Mist Village as the captured rebel ninja, along with his beheading sword. This is called the Return of the Ninja Sword. With this righteous cause, I believe that the forces within the Hidden Mist Village will no longer have an excuse to obstruct us, and any attack on us will be regarded as a betrayal of the Hidden Mist Village. Good idea. Kisame said solemnly. How about this, you return their ninja swords and I'll give you another one. How about my big sword, Samahata? Oh. Yang Nai's expression changed. What about you? Kisame grinned. I can hide in this sword. Chapter 83. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yang Nai pretended to be surprised. You actually have such ability? Kisame nodded. At that time, you only need to send one of your tribesmen to take this big sword Samahata. Claim to the outside world that it was taken from me after defeating me, Hoshigaki Kisame. In this way, with 2 lost ninja swords and the achievement of capturing Zabuza alive, even the Mizukage or the daimyo can't ignore your existence. Although Kisame would say this, it was already expected by Yono, or in other words, at the beginning, Yono's goal was the big sword Samahata on his body, but she just used the words to guide Kisame to speak step by step. However, Kisame's straightforwardness was beyond her expectations. This is the trump card of the ninja. Yono was not hypocritical, and immediately told the Uchiha brothers to say. I need you to hire peddlers to the land of water, and spread the news that Uchiha Haruno led the Uchiha clan to defeat Hoshigaki Kisame and Momochi Zabuza within half a month, and brought the beheading sword and Samahata, as well as the captured Zabuza, to join the Mizukage. In this way, when this news spreads to the Hidden Mist Village and everyone knows it, our goal will be achieved. With this righteous cause, no force can stop us. As you command. Then Haruno went to reach an agreement with Zabuza Momochi. After seeing the dying Haku and Uchiha Hana who was constantly healing him, Zabuza agreed to Haruno's request to pretend he was a prisoner and offer him to the Mizukage. As for why he was not worried that the girl would turn the fake into reality, it was because he was now in a situation where he was at the mercy of others and had no choice. More than 10 days later, just as the girl expected, the caravans heading to the land of water spread the news that Haruno had deliberately released to everyone in the Hidden Mist Village. Although the blockade policy implemented by the Hidden Mist Village to the outside world still had some remnants, the news from the outside world was one-way transparent. This was undoubtedly excellent news for the Hidden Mist Village, which had been in chaos and vendettas. After all, the 7 ninja swordsmen, who were said to be established to protect the Mizukage, were now either killed in battle or betrayed. Even there were only a few ninja swords left in the Hidden Mist Village. Now, not only has the powerful Uchiha family joined to fill the vacancies of the disappeared Blood Clan, but they have also brought back the 2 lost ninja swords and the wanted criminal. Many high-ranking officials of the Hidden Mist have fought with the Uchiha clan on the battlefield. Although they know that the thick fog can restrain the Sharingan to a certain extent, They also know how powerful the Sharingan is under normal circumstances. These people became the faction that supported the Uchiha branch to join the Hidden Mist Village, and they sent heavyweights to lobby the Mizukage or the elders all day long. The entire Hidden Mist Village was originally relatively closed, but it fell into a short and strange craze because of the news released by the girl, and when half of the Water Kingdom and the entire Hidden Mist Village were filled with the rumors she deliberately spread. Young, however, they remained in the land of hot springs and stayed in a different hotel near the port, watching how the situation would develop. They were waiting, and would not rashly enter the land of water until the internal pressure of the Hidden Water Village became so great that they had to send out representatives to meet the situation. Rashly entering a large country like the land of water might be seen as a hostile ninja, thus giving the other side a legitimate excuse to destroy them. On this day, Yang No finally waited for the person from the land of water that she wanted to see in the main hall of the hotel that she had booked. However, after seeing the person, Yang No was a little disappointed. After waiting for so long, the girl thought she would see the more famous characters in the original work, such as Mei Terumi, Ao, and Chojuro. Unexpectedly, none of these three showed up, and instead, a middle-aged uncle with a beard showed up. This uncle claimed to be the deputy captain of the Hidden Mist Pursuit Force. His name is Jian. His deputy is a young man with thin cheeks, who also wears the forehead protector of Kirigakure and carries a ninja sword on his back, named Ganlu. Following them, there are more than a dozen members of Kirigakure's hunting team in civilian clothes. They first handed over the visiting card, and then were led in by Uchiha Yema, who was carrying the large sword Samahata with countless barbs on his back, while Uchiha Jiaha, who was in charge of guarding the door, was carrying the beheading sword. Along the way, the two men's eyes never left the two weapons. That was the regret of the Kirigakure hunting team for many years. Unexpectedly, an outsider like Uchiha Haruno could get it so easily. However, when they came to the main hall and saw Uchiha Haruno sitting behind the desk, the two of them put away their eyes that had been staring at the sword. First, they made a routine courtesy and expressed their condolences for the Uchiha rebellion in Konoha and the death of the clan leader Uchiha Fugaku. Then he recovered two ninja swords from Haruno and captured the wanted criminal Momochi Zabuza. He had already verified his true identity in the company of the Uchiha clan members and expressed his gratitude. Haruno had received family education since childhood, which made her very polite. After inviting the two guests to take their seats, she personally brewed tea for the guests and responded with a smile. Her manners were generous and her behavior was decent, which surprised the Kirigakure ninja. He always felt that he was facing a daimyo's princess, not a girl from a ninja family. Maybe because he had worked as a guard for the daimyo of the land of water before, he unconsciously became more polite. Then, Uchiha Haruno handed the brewed tea in her hand to Uchiha Sankura, who was standing behind her as a maid, and asked her to put it on a beautifully crafted lacquer tray. When she handed it to them, the two men were so stiff that they were at a loss. Looking at the beautiful and generous girl in front of them, the two looked at each other and didn't know how to start for a while. Especially, the opponent was a strong man who buried the dark ninja Danzo and made Konoha a mess. With such a girl as a backdrop, the two felt like wild monkeys from the mountains. However, our considerate Yang No did not let them be embarrassed for too long. Seeing that her goal had been achieved, she spoke a long paragraph, in which she hinted that she had the idea of joining the Hidden Mist Village. The leading sword had been with the daimyo of the land of water for a period of time. Unlike the confused Yenlu who was holding a tea bowl, he heard the true meaning of the girl's vague words. On behalf of the elder Yuansha of the Hidden Mist Village, he immediately made a formal invitation for Uchiha to join the Hidden Mist Village. You read that right, not on behalf of the Mizukage, but on behalf of the elders. Chapter 84. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The two Mist Shadow ninjas seemed to notice that Yang No's expression was a little strange. Well, you ask why? Ever since she heard that sentence, her little face has had the same expression, which has not changed. She quickly explained. Your Highness, no, Lord Yang may not know that the structure of our Kirigakure is somewhat different from other ninja villages. The strongest person in the village, will be appointed as the Mizukage. However, the people who make major decisions are often the experienced elders. On behalf of the elders, we specially invite you and the Uchiha clan to join our friendly family of the Hidden Mist Village. Yang Noi almost couldn't help complaining in her heart, but her demeanor on the surface was still meticulous. She opened her mouth and said a long sentence quoting classics, in which she implicitly expressed her agreement and gratitude. Yes, of course she did not refuse, but agreed to the conditions of the two people. There was no reason not to accept the ticket that was delivered to her door. However, she also put forward her own insistence, that is, the two ninja swords and zabuza would still be handed over to them for care until the Uchiha officially joined the Hidden Mist Village, and they could not be returned to the other party until they formally met with the top leaders of the Hidden Mist Village. However, both sides still left room for who the top leader specifically referred to. Yang Noi was referring to the fourth Mizukage, including the elders. As for how much of Ken and Ganlu understood her deliberately vague words, that was unknown. A few days later, both sides were fully prepared and boarded several large ships to enter the territory of the Land of Water. The journey was calm, and they were able to enjoy the sea, which they might not have seen once in their lives. Although Yang No was of course not among them, the Uchiha people were extremely excited. This was a new world for them. When they arrived at the port of the Land of Water, they found that compared to Konoha village, it was really desolate and dilapidated. There were only 2 or 3 pedestrians on the road, and even in the port, which was supposed to be a place for the circulation of goods, the shops were deserted. Looking through the windows into those shops, there was nothing on the goods column. Some Uchiha people were already pointing and talking without any scheming, which made the 2 senior ninjas from the Hidden Mist Village look very embarrassed. However, Yang No did not stop the discussion of the tribe members' mind, but noticed the attitude of the ninjas who were responsible for patrolling these ports to receive them. After seeing the handwritten letters from the elders of the Land of Water in Ken and Ganliu's hands, most of these ninjas were respectful, and they were obviously used to the elders, not the Mizukage, giving orders. This should have been a move that was beneficial to their side, but it made Yang Noi feel alert. If the Mizukage did not have so much power in the Hidden Mist Village, then how could Obito stir up a bloody storm and continuously eliminate those bloody families by controlling the Mizukage alone? Did he just take advantage of the situation and took advantage of the existing contradictions within the Hidden Mist Village? If so, this contradiction will not be resolved because Obito's illusion was solved, and it may continue to target them in the future. Well, our young lady's brain is too fast. After a few days, after that, they came to the outskirts of Kirigakure village. Along the way, they also experienced the local customs of the Land of Water. It can only be said that although it is called a big country, it is not comparable to the rich fire country in the center of the ninja world. The lack of materials and the poverty of the people are the norm here. Some of those who followed her here have already shown disappointment, but Yang Noi has no time to care about these people's psychology. One day, Yang Noi was resting in the hotel, and suddenly saw Uchiha Yema coming up to her and told her that Jian and Ganlu wanted to see her. After the two sat down, Yang Noi heard a bad news from them. Originally, their plan was to stay in the hotel next to the village tonight, and they could officially enter Kirigakure village tomorrow, and then officially join Kirigakure after meeting with the top leaders of Kirigakure village. But who would have thought that? But suddenly, due to some internal reasons. Maybe it was some power struggle, or maybe it was some other script. In short, the plan that was previously discussed, with the elders of Kirigakure village as guarantors, to invite the Uchiha clan to join Kirigakure has changed again. Now they conveyed the elders' intention with apology, inviting them to stay temporarily in a villa outside the Hidden Mist village for a period of time. Hearing this, Yang Noi frowned. She asked the two, "What happened in the Kirigakure village? Can you tell me in detail?" Jian's face was not looking good either. This sudden change of mind also made him lose his face. He explained helplessly. It was some forces in the Hidden Mist village that opposed it. They raised objections to the elders' request. After their private lobbying, the fourth Mizukage asked us to put aside the relevant matters of accepting the Uchiha clan. Yodo was not very surprised about this. She did not underestimate the difficulty of joining this closed village. After all, she knew that there was a custom in the Hidden Mist village, that is, the Mizukage was generally held by the strongest ninja in the village. If she really joined the Hidden Mist village as a Hidden Mist ninja, then the position of the Mizukage might have to be replaced. Of course, she did not think this was a dead rule. After all, the current fourth Mizukage became the Mizukage when he was young, although he was the Jinchuriki of the Three Tails, when he became the Mizukage, he might have just sealed the Three Tails and could not even fully grasp the power of the tailed beast. Yodo did not believe that he was the strongest fighting force in the Hidden Mist Village at that time. Otherwise the Hidden Mist Village would be too pitiful. It may be because of the reason that he will grow into the strongest fighting force in the future that Yagura was chosen as the fourth Mizukage. How about it? The plan to join the Hidden Mist Village right now seems to be unworkable. This will put them in a rather awkward situation. After all, their current public identity is just a guest of the Hidden Mist Village elders, and they brought two extremely valuable ninja swords and the wanted criminal's abuza. The girl is sure that if the results she obtained in the Uchiha rebellion had not been spread to the Hidden Mist Village and shocked many Hidden Mist ninjas, they might have been attacked now. Thinking of this, Yang No once again asked for confirmation. Master Jian, Master Yen Lu, what exactly does the elder want me to do? Jian's eyes flickered and he said, that the elder is still using his connections to try to gain more support from the top leaders of the Hidden Mist Village. But I also heard that there is such an uncertain rumor. Chapter 85. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After saying that, Jian subconsciously looked around, as if to confirm that there was no one nearby. After waiting for a while, he picked up the teacup in front of him and took a sip of tea before saying, "This is a major scandal in our village, but since you have done so much for us, we will reveal this to you. There are rumors that the fourth Mizukage, he has some mental problems. His behavior is often very strange and his policies are inconsistent. It is also said that his health is not particularly ideal. Therefore, although he is still the Mizukage, the leaders of our Kirigakure are considering whether to replace him with a new Mizukage. Please continue." Yang Nai smiled and poured tea for Jian in front of him. Jian took it with some fear, but did not drink the tea again. Instead, he looked at the girl solemnly and said, "You actually came at a very bad time, because some people in our village have already planned to nominate a young and powerful person who may not be inferior to the Mizukage as the next generation of Mizukage successor. If things go as expected, if the fourth Mizukage continues in this state, she will replace the fourth Mizukage and become the fifth Mizukage. Who is the person that Lord Jian is talking about? She is a female ninja named Mei Terumi. She uses a very powerful bloodline. In other words, the one who tried to stop me from joining the Hidden Mist Village was this Mei Terumi and the power behind her." Jian nodded, but after a while, he looked at Ganlu again, shook his head and said, "It can be said that it is, but it is not. In fact, the relationship within our Kirigakure is very complicated. The fourth Mizukage and his forces are trying their best to cover up the abnormality of the Mizukage, which is related to their own authority. Therefore, in this matter, the Mizukage-sama has adopted an ambiguous attitude, and the new generation of Kirigakure, led by Mei Terumi, really does not want you to join Kirigakure. From this perspective, you are right. But on the other hand, although it is just my wild speculation, I think what Lady Terumi may meant is that she will officially accept you and your people after she officially takes over as the fifth Mizukage. Before that, she will not give you and your people any official status. At best, you will serve as mercenary ninjas of the Hidden Mist Village. In this way, if she secures the position of Mizukage, letting you join will not pose a threat to her position. On the other hand, since our Kirigakure has had a series of bad things happen over the years, now you have obtained 2 ninja swords and Momochi Zabuza, one of the former 7 ninja swordsmen. This is a great achievement, enough to boost the morale of our Kirigakure. Therefore, the elders and Mei Terumi, who we represent, hope that you can join us with your weapons. On this point, we are all in agreement, except for the Mizukage-sama, who did not make any comment, which made the people in the Mizukage-sama faction feel at a loss. I have heard what you said, and I feel that you, the Mizukage, seem to want to sit back and watch all this happen. You are in a superior position in the struggle between the elders represented by you and the new generation represented by Mei Terumi over whether to accept the Uchiha clan, which has announced the return of the ninja swords, as a bargaining chip. Tsurugi nodded with a strange look on his face. The girl in front of him was not only very strong, but also had such a high IQ. She was experienced in accidents. It was not known whether it would be a blessing or a curse for such a person to join, or to bring her clansmen to join their Kirigakure, but he thought again, things have gotten so bad, and Kirigakure has become such a tragic place. How much worse can it get? Thinking of this, as an elder, he deepened his idea of inviting Uchiha to join immediately. Yang No also felt a little strange at this time. As an elder who should have been in charge of government affairs, he should have been the one who sat behind the scenes and watched other people fight. But now this position has been replaced by the Mizukage, who is the first fighter of Kirigakure. It may be because the Mizukage was once the reason for the manipulation of illusions. Are they worried that after accepting their side, they will continue to be controlled by the illusions of the Uchiha clan? But they are also afraid that the fact that they have been controlled by the illusions of the Uchiha clan will cause their prestige to plummet, and they will lose their position in the Hidden Mist Village, and then the reputation of the Hidden Mist Village will be ruined, so they are not willing to openly oppose it on the surface. Well, our classmate Yang No's IQ is too high, and she guessed the truth of the whole matter in a few seconds. Yang No then asked the two of them in detail about the details of Terumi Mei's group, and focused on asking about Ao with the Byakugan. And the details of Chojuro, the owner of the double swords. After understanding it, she got up to see off the two guests when it was getting dark. A few days later, they came to a place outside the Hidden Mist Village, which covered a large area. In the magnificent mansion, the rockery and flowing water inside the mansion are like a park. It is spacious enough to accommodate hundreds of people, but now there are only a dozen servants cleaning it all day long. According to Jian, this house once belonged to the third-generation Mizukage. It was his residence outside the village where he would come to relax after work. After the death of the third-generation Mizukage, the house was given to the elder, but the elder rarely stayed here. He was old and frail, and he was busy with more important official business. At this time, it was equivalent to letting Yang No and his party stay temporarily. This was considered polite enough, but the Uchiha people seemed to feel a little dejected about this. Perhaps it was because it had been raining for several days, and they didn't seem to have much energy. Yang No was certainly not affected by this. She knelt on the seat. After enjoying a meal of tea rice with local specialties such as plums and seaweed, looking at the continuous raindrops like silk and mist outside the eaves, and the faint sound of a string of wind chimes, the girl felt relieved, and the problems that had been lingering in her mind for several days were also partially solved. The fourth Mizukage, who seemed to be afraid of her group because of the Sharingan illusion, was her enemy, and together with Mei Terumi. The only ones who could be her allies were the elders who seemed to be unaware of this, but thinking about it carefully, it was not the case. According to the information she learned from the sword, and the news that she had asked her clansmen to visit various places and inquire carefully in the past few days, Yang No confirmed the fact that the Mizukage was controlled, and there was no related rumor at all in the Hidden Mist Village. This is undoubtedly a good thing for Uchiha. Chapter 86. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Obviously, it is very difficult to block the news that the Mizukage is being controlled. If it is discovered, it will be even more difficult to keep it secret. The position of the Mizukage will become precarious. Then there is only one truth, that is, the fact that the Mizukage is controlled by illusions has not been noticed by Qin, nor has it been discovered by anyone. It is just that he himself got rid of the control of the illusion for some reason, which may be due to the tailed beast. Of course, what he has to do after getting rid of the control of the illusion is definitely not to let anyone know that he has been controlled by the illusion. Therefore, the Mizukage has a big weakness and can be manipulated by her. In the original work, only two such news are mentioned. The first news is that Qin used the white eyes seized from the battlefield to discover that the Mizukage was controlled by illusions. Well, then there is nothing else, and no one said how to deal with it. It's just that after a period of time, the Mizukage who looks like a baby face and is in his prime died inexplicably naturally. Then, the second news is that Mei Terumi became the nominal new Mizukage. It's worthy of being the Blood Mist Village. It really makes people can't think too much, but now with her arrival, the situation seems to have changed. After instructing the servants to clean up her bowls and chopsticks, the girl came to the eaves and stretched out her palm, then looked at the rain falling from the sky, and fell into continuous thinking. At this point, among the three forces, who is the enemy and who is the friend? It is no longer such an important matter, or to say, except for the elders. Now let's just assume that they are still friends. Mizukage and Mei Terumi may both look like enemies, but they may also become temporary friends because of their own operations. Yang No has only one thing to do, that is to make the weight of the chips in her hand look heavier. She is no longer satisfied with only 2 ninja swords. Just 2 days ago, the tribesmen she entrusted found out the location of the ancestral home of the Kizuna clan outside the Hidden Mist village. It is said that the bones of the ninjas of the Kizuna family are buried there. Yang No doesn't know how Kabuto Yakushi got the scroll that can summon ninja swords, but she knew that those summoned ninja swords had not been mastered by anyone until the Ninja World War in the original work, and they should be missing now. The most likely place to find the scroll is where Mangetsu Kazuki's body is, which is consistent with the possibility that Kabuto Yakushi discovered it when he traveled throughout the ninja world, looking for the remains of those ninjas with high abilities. Yes, Yang No's plan is to collect as many ninja swords as possible until her weight can no longer be ignored. At this moment, she was followed by Uchiha Uchiha, who had the beheading sword on his back, and Uchiha Sankura and 2 other Uchiha clan members on the other side. As for Uchiha Ima, who was still in the mansion, there was Kisame in the Samahata on his back, and the power he exerted at the critical moment was very terrifying, so Yang No was not worried about their safety after she left. Swish, their figures wearing black cloaks passed through the night and rain, and raindrops hit their cloaks and splashed white water. Yang No planned to start the investigation from the big house. Because of the fast speed, they soon arrived at a house next to a lake, which was the ancestral home of the Ghost Light family. The Ghost Light mansion covers a large area, so it is enough to accommodate the tomb of the Ghost Light family. Yang No and others invaded from 2 directions, trying to find a breakthrough. She took Uchiha Sanjuryo from the west, while Uchiha Uchiha and 2 other Uchiha members tried to enter from the southeast, but Yang No stopped outside and waited for a while, but could not see the Uchiha family and the secret code given according to the agreement. I only saw a thick fog suddenly rising from the building by the lake, as if it triggered some kind of defensive barrier. Yang No frowned. Is it really difficult to break in here? According to the information he had obtained these days, there should not be too many members in the Ghost Light mansion. After all, after the death of the 2nd generation of Mizukage, and the death of the Ghost Light Manue of the 7 ninja swordsmen in a foreign land, the Hozuki clan, which was not a prosperous clan to begin with, became even more depleted. Therefore, the information she received was that there should be only a few dozen people left here, and there might be hundreds including servants. Although it was depleted, it was still a large clan here compared to the Uchiha clan before. However, they guarded such a large mansion, and had never been affected by the political turmoil in the Hidden Mist village over the years. This showed that their family had a foundation that could not be underestimated. Until now, there was no new information from Uchiha Kawa. It seemed that his Sharingan ability was also restrained by the thick fog. Even though she saw that the other party was already alert, Yang No insisted on going in to explore. Soon, her figure and Uchiha Sankura sank into the thick fog together. After entering the thick fog, it was like entering a barrier. The scene in front of her suddenly became clear. What appeared in Yang No's Sharingan was no different from the image she had observed outside the mansion before. Just like the fog was only a thin layer, the lights were still on inside the mansion. Yang No could vaguely see servants moving around between the houses. Everything seemed normal, but that was why she felt something was amiss. The Uchiha family and their group were like stones thrown into a pool of water, disappearing in an instant. Whatever it was, Yang No decided to test it according to the plan. Fire style, great fireball technique. She spit out a ball of orange flame, and in a flash, it burned the house into rubble. The servants seemed to have seen the noise she made. At first, some of them tried to rush over to put out the fire, but when they saw that it was ninjas who were attacking, not fire, they immediately scattered and fled. No, this is wrong. Why are those who showed up only servants of the family? Where are the people in the Hozuki clan who can use ninjutsu? According to the intelligence, they have at least dozens of people. At worst, they still have that kid Hozuki Suigetsu. Could it be that he has been captured by Orochimaru and used as an experimental subject? But at this time, Orochimaru had not yet betrayed the Akatsuki organization. God knows if he would have taken action so early. Let's get closer, she said to Sanjuryo. The two came to the center of the house, where there was a large pond. Young Na could still see a reflection of the crescent moon in the night sky. No, this house was already covered in fog, how could it possibly reflect the reflection in the night sky? This is an illusion. They actually used illusions against the Uchiha clan. They were really underestimated, or did the other party have no other means to resist them except illusions? Chapter 87. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, the scene in the pair of Sharingan did not change at all. As a master of illusion, Yang No did not feel any disorder in the chakra in her body and Uchiha Sankura beside her. What happened? The next moment, she felt that she had lost consciousness, in a forest not far away, in an open space under a tree where she could take shelter from the rain. Yang No slowly opened her eyes. Did the shadow clone disappear? She felt that she was having memories and a sense of fatigue, as well as the remaining chakra of the shadow clone returning from afar. She saw Uchiha Jia, Uchiha Sankura and 2 other Uchiha clan members around her. They all looked confused, and it was obvious that their experience was similar to hers. In the first wave of temptation, they naturally sent out all the shadow clones. This is the most basic tactic. They will not use the main body to rashly enter the other party's house, which may be set with traps. Uchiha Jiaha on the side looked ugly. As the only person with 3 Magatama Sharingan beside Yang No, he also felt the powerlessness of being controlled by illusion. Yang No said. Tell me, what did you each experience just now? Uchiha Jiaha said with an unpleasant expression. I felt my shadow clone enter their house, and then I saw a new round of the moon reflected in the pond. At first I didn't feel anything, but then I instinctively felt that something was wrong. Because the house was surrounded by fog. But then, just when I thought I was under an illusion, I suddenly lost consciousness. Seeing that the others had come to similar conclusions as Uchiha Jiaha, Yang No also fell into deep thought. She finally understood why, as a member of the 7 ninja swordsmen who were proficient in using 7 ninja swords, no one had been able to get the lost ninja swords for so many years, even though it was very likely that Menzuki Kazuki had the whereabouts of those lost ninja swords. And how did the Kazuki clan, which seemed very weak and had a small population, preserve itself in the chaos of the Blood Mist village? Is it an illusion that can even deceive the Sharingan, which is known as the inside eye? There is also a strange ability to attack in conjunction with illusions to launch an attack without anyone noticing. Sure enough, these big families that have been passed down for 100 years, this foundation should not be underestimated. Yang No thought of a certain possibility and explained to everyone. Generally, the illusions we use are nothing more than attacking the opponent's brain, causing their chakra to become disordered and hallucinate. However, I heard that the former 2nd generation of the Water Kingdom, Mizuki Hozuki, possessed a kind of summoning technique called the Giant Clam. What it is good at is to create fog and form mirages, directly paralyzing the opponent's vision and creating false illusions. This is not an illusion that exists in the space of consciousness, but a real illusion that can be observed by any optical means. Therefore, it is said that even the Sharingan and the Byakugan cannot break the illusion. Uchiha Jiaha looked grim. Whether it's creating a strong fog to block the vision, or this kind of illusion that I have never heard of. The Hidden Mist Village has a lot of ways to restrain our Uchiha clan. So what should we do? Uchiha Kazu asked. Yang No said. Then try it, don't go deep into the fog, use fire release ninjutsu from a distance and see if you can find the person using this illusion. Following Yang No's instructions, everyone came to the outskirts of the Ghost Lantern Mansion and performed various fire-style ninjutsu at a distance from the fog. Orange-red fireballs or fireballs flew towards the Ghost Lantern Mansion. However, these attacks fell into the fog, like a stone sinking into the sea, without causing any ripples. It seems that even the scene in the fog is an illusion. Their ninjutsu attacks couldn't even drive away the fog itself. Yang No knew that this was an illusion targeting the vision, so this illusion targeting the vision could never affect the physical laws of reality. The girl took out a kunai. There was a silk thread at the end of the kunai, which was thrown into the Ghost Lantern Mansion. Then, she held the silk thread with both hands and used the dragon fire technique, and a straight line of flame spread in an instant. Yang No vaguely saw the scene on the water surface in the mansion. in which there was a huge oyster-like shellfish, inhaling and exhaling smoke, a big clam. That is the source of the illusion, and that is the target that needs to be attacked, Yang No said. Come here, go in together. Then she took out a ball of silk thread and handed it to everyone, asking them to connect with each other with the silk thread, follow her into the fog, and move forward straight along the silk thread. In this way, no matter what kind of visual illusion appears, it will not be affected by it. It is an excellent way to break the illusion. Swish, the figures of several people approached rapidly along the straight silk thread, however, as they went deeper into the mansion that looked like the Ghost Lantern Mansion. The surrounding scene still looked unchanged. They should have come to the center of the mansion, but in fact, several people found that there were no big clams around them. What they saw was an empty space. Damn it, I got fooled, Uchiha said with an ugly expression. It seems that the illusion that affects vision, what we see outside the fog is just a false image, and we are now in his mirage. Seeing the tribesmen who were obviously a little panicked, Yang Nai smiled confidently and said, "Don't worry, everything is under control. This is just a center-blooming tactic. We are not surrounded." Well, okay, if she said this in her previous life, she would probably be laughed to death, but now these tribesmen are surprisingly full of mysterious confidence in themselves, and they obviously feel relieved after hearing his words. In Yang Noi's view, even if what they saw was an illusion, the direction in which she threw the kunai was indeed towards the center of the courtyard, so there was only one possibility, that is, the entire Gue Lantern Mansion, or even the layer of fog that enveloped the mansion. Even the woods where they were before were all just part of a mirage. If this is really the case, then Yang Noi cannot be sure whether her location is the center of this illusion. If so, it would be too terrible. Thinking of this, Yang Noi decided not to hold back, and she shouted to the four people around her. Later, I will use the Susanoo, which is an ability that will cause damage in a wide area. You must stay with me at that time, so that you will be protected. Chapter 88. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Everyone's face changed. They all knew that their young leader, Yang No, did not like them to call him the clan leader. What did he mean by that? They all felt its terrifying power firsthand on the night of the Uchiha rebellion, as the kaleidoscope of diamond-patterned cherry blossoms in Uchiha Yang No's eyes turned, a huge skeleton covered with white flame-like chakra appeared above everyone. Since they were standing relatively close, they also stayed within the protection range of the skeleton. Then, the skeleton quickly deformed and changed its state. A set of white Tengu armor was also put on Susanoo's body. Scarlet pupils as big as millstones flashed in the mask formed by the staggered teeth. Is this the power of the Mangekyo? Uchiha murmured in disbelief. Although he had seen that kind of power with his own eyes, this was the first time he felt its presence in person at such a close distance, and naturally he was extremely shocked. The other tribesmen were even worse off than him, and subconsciously moved a little closer to Yang Noi. Yang Noi decided to make a quick decision, as she knew that this illusion had a big flaw, which was that it was not an illusion in the traditional sense. Therefore, although it can deceive people's perception and even the bloodline limit, it also has a big weakness, which is that it cannot truly control a person's thinking. Therefore, as long as one is willing, one can directly and truly turn everything around into ruins. Since it is impossible to find the caster of this illusion, the big clam, where is it, then just destroy everything around. As he spoke, the cloud-patterned large sword in Susanoo's hand appeared, and at the head. After drawing the sword from its sheath, he plunged it directly into the ground. The next second, it seemed that an indiscriminate attack was launched from all around. That was the power called Tianjin Ranha, which could launch countless high-density wind-style chakra sword lights in all directions, attacking indiscriminately. But in the next moment, the white Susanoo suddenly collapsed for a moment, and those evil and strange chakras became as violent as if they had lost the restraint of their masters. They turned into balls of white flames in the air, and then burned and disappeared. Yang No stared blankly at the sword blade that pierced through her chest. The attack came from behind her, but Susanoo should be able to defend against external attacks. Then there was only one possibility, that the attack came from the tribesmen protected by her Susanoo. To be precise, it was the real killer move in this mirage disguised as her own tribesmen. What's going on? Yang Nai turned around and saw that her tribesmen were also dumbfounded. Among the people behind her, Uchiha Senjurio had become another person without knowing when. It was a woman in her 20s, with long aqua-colored hair and shark-like teeth. Who are you? When did you sneak in? The woman grinned and said. You are the strongest person trying to break in here. But unfortunately, even your eyes cannot see through the ability left by my ancestor, Gue Dang Huanyu. I'm sorry, but just now, I have used the power of the mirage to replace the little girl next to you. Whether it's appearance, figure or chakra, they are all indistinguishable in front of the power of the mirage. Thanks to this, I was able to sneak into the defense of your technique and have such an easy chance to succeed. As if she felt that it was a bit strange to speak in this position with her chest pierced, Yang No said uncomfortably. Why did you deliberately avoid my vital points just now? You could have chosen my heart. The Ghost Lantern tribe member said with a trace of helplessness on his face. If possible, I don't want to kill ordinary outsiders, I just hope they can retreat. But your strength is too strong. I have no choice but to make you lose your fighting ability first. Then, maybe we can negotiate to retreat honestly in exchange for your life, so that both sides can accept it decently. Indeed. Uchiha Yangno's mouth suddenly showed a strange arc. Since both sides have revealed their strength, we should indeed discuss the terms. What? The Ghost Lantern woman said, do you think you can bargain with me in your current state? However, she suddenly felt a strange touch on her hand. Then she found that the figure of Yang No, who should have been pierced by her body, suddenly turned into flying cherry blossoms and dissipated. The Ghost Lantern woman felt bad and immediately jumped back, trying to hide in the thick fog, but suddenly found that her body fell to the ground without her control. The scenery in front of her was spinning and something had changed. The thick fog created by the big clam still existed, but the scene where she pierced Yang No's chest was just an illusion. She was shocked to find that she was surrounded by Yang No and the tribesmen around her, and her body was paralyzed by the thunder escape and could not be turned into liquid at all. What is this? The Ghost Lantern woman looked at the girl in front of her in disbelief. Although she had overestimated her opponent's strength by several levels, she did not expect that she could actually break the strongest illusion her grandfather left for her. When was it that she looked at the Uchiha clan members around Yang Noi, but found that she didn't see the figure of the Uchiha girl who was about the same age as Yang Noi? In other words, was she caught in the illusion after she controlled the little girl? What is going on? Yang Nai looked at her and said. Since you didn't kill me in my illusion, I won't kill you now either. I'll give you a chance. You should first break this illusion. After confirming that the girl is okay, we can calm down and talk. The girl, whose movements were restricted, made a seal helplessly. With a burst of white smoke from the psychic, something dissipated in the thick fog, then, the mirage formed by the thick fog gradually faded. When a breeze blew, everyone realized that they were hundreds of meters away from the real Ghost Lantern Mansion by the lake. The Ghost Lantern Mansion that seemed to be wrapped in thick fog just now was indeed just a mirage created, Yang Nai said to her. My name is Uchiha Haruno. I have come to join the Hidden Mist Village. I aspire to be the one who ends the dark clouds over the Hidden Mist Village and creates a new era. Are you interested in working with us? Chapter 89. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The girl who was controlled by Yang No's lightning release smiled miserably and said. Of course I know who you are. In our closed Kirigakure, in the streets and alleys, there are legends about you and the things you did. Yang No nodded. I have introduced myself, so as a basis for mutual trust. What is your name? My name is Hozuki Wakazuki, and I am the granddaughter of the late second Mizukage Hozuki Huanyue. I inherited my grandfather's summoning beast and the ability to control it to use illusions. Hozuki looked at Yang No and said. Can you pull this thing out now? That she was referring to a senbon with lightning chakra on it. Knowing the advantages and disadvantages of Kazuna's water transformation technique, Yang No used a little trick to pierce her foot, making her unable to move at all. Yang No did not respond, but asked. What about the missing Uchiha girl? She's fine. Gue Dang Roa, you said. I just asked the tribesman to take her to the main house. If you go there, you will be able to see him. Finally, I have one last question. She asked. I was obviously hiding in the thick fog, you should not be able to see my eyes at all. How did you use the illusion to deceive me in the mirage? This is a question I have never been able to figure out. Looking at the unwilling kitten Ruiyue, Yang Nai smiled. My illusion cannot be avoided by just blocking vision, because it does not require me to see other people's eyes to activate. Instead, when others see my eyes, they have already been under the illusion. Everything in the mirage seems to be one-way transparent to you, but this also makes you lose the protection of the thick fog against the Sharingan illusion. This. Hozuki Wakatsuki's heart was greatly shocked. This ability was too devilish and too terrifying. Is there still a law? It turned out that he thought he had a plan, and disguised his body completely as Uchiha Sankura through the illusion of mirage, but because of an unintentional eye contact, even Yang No might not be sure whether there was someone behind him who was replaced. When he opened the Mangekyo, he had already released the illusion indiscriminately. Hozuki Wakatsuki began to secretly rejoice in his decision again. Fortunately, he was afraid that if he really killed the girl who claimed to return the ninja sword and was regarded as a hero by some Kirigakure ninjas, it would bring pressure from some high-level Kirigakure ninjas. Therefore, he did not daring to kill. He actually made a good relationship, otherwise his current situation would be hard to say. Several people came to the real mansion of the Kizuna clan. There were many servants of the Kizuna clan, but there were few members of the Kizuna clan. It seemed that there were not as many as in the intelligence, and they might not be here for the time being. As soon as they came in and confirmed the safety of Uchiha Sankura, the two groups of people could finally sit down and talk about things. Yang No noticed that there was a boy from the Kizuna clan who looked to be about 10 years old, practicing with a big sword in the yard. His iconic good teeth clearly indicated his identity. The man was also slightly stunned after seeing Kizuna Wakatsuki, and asked, Sister Ruiyue, what is this? Then, the young man saw his group and pointed in this direction and shouted. Hey, who are you? Why did you suddenly appear in my house? Then Yang No saw that the anger value of Gue Dang Roayu was rising rapidly, as if she was about to explode, so she spoke first. My name is Uchiha Haruno, and I am here as a guest. Oh, really? Hello, my name is Hozuki. I am Hozuki Manzuki's younger brother, and I will become one of the 7 ninja swordsmen in the future, and finally become the Mizukage. Yanori was speechless for a while, thinking, is your ambition just to focus on such a broken hat? Can you have a broader vision? Everyone wants to become this Kage or that Kage. At this time, the rough-minded Hozuki suddenly reacted. What's your name? Uchiha. Isn't it the one that's been spread everywhere? That he suddenly stopped talking, and his eyes were fixed on the beheading sword behind Uchiha Uchiha. His purple eyes showed an extremely greedy look. Hey, is this true? You really got the beheading sword? Give it to me. No, show it to me. Before he finished speaking, he was suddenly hit hard on the head by Gue Dang Roayu, and was directly beaten into a liquefied state. Gue Dang Shueyu rubbed the part where he was hit, stared at Gue Dang Roayu with some dissatisfaction and muttered. Sister, you can't always favor outsiders, after all, they are from our Kirigakure. Before he could finish his words, he was interrupted by Gue Dang Roayu. Adults are talking, children can go play. Hozuki Suigetsu could only look at the beheading sword again, and after a while he reluctantly looked away. He continued to practice swordsmanship with a grunt. Yang No felt a little funny. Was this the reason why he hated Karen so much later? However, Hozuki Suigetsu had not been abducted by Orochimaru as an experimental subject. I wonder what kind of expression he would have when he knew that his brother's grave might contain the clues about the ninja sword that he had always wanted to find. When the few of them sat down at the table, Yang No felt that the atmosphere was still a little awkward, so he took the lead in speaking out his own, when he heard that his side had obtained clues about the 7 ninja swords from somewhere else, and that the clues pointed to his family mansion, and also the remains of an important ninja and his family. Hozuki Wakatsuki's face unexpectedly became very ugly. Yang.No knew that in the ninja world, because of the great secrets contained in the corpses of ninjas, some ninjas would even hide the burial places of their own bodies to keep the secret. Asking the other party to open the cemetery of one's family is not really a friendly act, so when he saw that Hozuki Wakatsuki looked unhappy, Yang-no immediately said, "All of this is to return the swords to the Hidden Mist Village, which is the right of the Hidden Mist Village. Moreover, now that the Kazuna family can find the swords and return them to the Hidden Mist Village, it is undoubtedly a great achievement. But if the top leaders of the Hidden Mist Village are the first to notice the news and send people to ask for them, it will become too ugly." Ryue's face was gloomy. She knew that the girl was telling the truth. In fact, there have always been similar rumors in the village, but they have not been confirmed yet. Chapter 90. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In addition, the Kazuki clan withdrew from the core of the power circle of the Hidden Mist Village, and some people did not want to make things too ugly because of a baseless rumor. In addition, she had a very powerful illusion in the house, and no one except Yang-no could break it, so all this made her believe the girl's words a little more. Ryue said helplessly. "You want me to open my brother's grave to check if there are any clues about the whereabouts of the ninja swords? Is this the condition you proposed? If so, if you are willing to return those ninja swords to the Hidden Mist Village, I can accept it." Yanori said with a smile. "I haven't finished speaking yet, I have one more condition. That is, I need to cooperate with you, the Ghost Lantern clan." "Collaboration? What do you want to do?" "If I guess correctly, since Mangetsu Kazuki's death, your Mangetsu clan has been marginalized in the Hidden Mist Village." Mangetsu Kazuki's face was not very good because his secrets were revealed. "So what? And because of this, our clan has been spared from many struggles and purges." Yang-nai said. "Cooperate with us, and I will not only put an end to this dark situation, but also enable you to obtain a position in the future I promised you, worthy of a clan that produced the second Mizukage." Hozuki Wakazuki said calmly. "I just want to protect our Ghost Lantern clan, this is my greatest wish." Yang-nai smiled. "Unfortunately, it seems that your greatest wish is difficult to achieve. Gue Dang Ryue clenched his fists and asked in a low voice. "What do you mean?" "There is a powerful rebel ninja who has set his sights on the special abilities of your Hozumi clan. Those abilities that can turn parts of the body into liquid form. This power is the secret technique of your clan, not some bloodline limit, so it can be used by him. He is a genius who studies all kinds of forbidden techniques, or a madman. Maybe you are not afraid of him, but what about your people, such as your brother Gue Deng Shueyu? I have intelligence and he is targeting me. Who is that person you are talking about? Agree to my terms and I'll tell you who he is, and I can help you guard against him." "Okay, but you have to agree to a few of my requests." Gue Deng Ryue said decisively. It seems that this person really cares about his people. "First, those ninja swords." Ryue glanced at the beheading sword on Uchiha Jiaha's back and said. "After all, they belong to the Hidden Mist Village and must belong to the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Hidden Mist Village." "Very good, I agree to this condition, the sword of the Hidden Mist Village must belong to the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Hidden Mist Village." She had another sentence in her heart that she didn't say, that is, who will become the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Hidden Mist Village is decided by me. "Second, I will cooperate with you, but this cooperation is limited to self-protection, or in other words, it cannot be based on the premise of harming the interests of the Hidden Mist Village. At least." Wakatsuki sighed, as if thinking of the current situation of the division of the Hidden Mist Village, and said in a softer tone. "At least we can't get involved. I can agree to this, but there is a prerequisite, that is, during our cooperation, you must keep our actions confidential." After seeing her agree, Yang-nai also asked at the right time. "What's up with your psychic power? Isn't there anyone coveting such a powerful power? If the ninjas from your Hidden Mist Village cooperated with the mirage of the summoned beast and used the silent killing technique, it would be able to achieve twice the result with half the effort." Hotspot Wakatsuki sighed and said. "After all, this summoned beast belongs to my grandfather, the second Mizukage. It does not completely obey my orders and can only move around this ghost lantern house. Only when it encounters danger can I cooperate with it for a period of time. It usually lurks in the pond of our mansion, and it is thanks to it that our family has been able to avoid many misfortunes. Yanori nodded to show his understanding. Since we want to start cooperation, I think your place is the best place. If you agree, I hope that our Uchiha clan can rest here before we are officially accepted by the top leaders of the Hidden Mist Village. In this way, with your mirage ability as protection, I can feel more at ease. Guidang Ryue smiled lightly and said. Well, Chueyue and I feel a little lonely here. After all, the house here is too big. Now it seems that since the full moon of Hozuki is likely to be related to the lost ninja sword, even if we want to avoid trouble, trouble will come to us automatically. In this case, it is better to cooperate with the powerful Uchiha clan first. Very good, the intention has been confirmed. After a while, we will officially and secretly form an Uchiha Kimetsu alliance. The core demand of this alliance is to obtain the status that our two clans deserve in the Hidden Mist Village. Yono's ambition made Kazuki a little uneasy, but when she thought of her brother, she agreed. I can agree. Tell me, who is the person who covets the abilities of our Ghost Lantern clan members? Yang Nai said with a strange expression. It is our Uchiha-born Konoha, one of the small contributions to the ninja world, and now he is one of the 3 rebel ninjas, Orochimaru. Kimizuki must have heard of the name Orochimaru, and her beautiful eyebrows frowned. One of the 3 ninjas, what a terrifying enemy. Being targeted by such an enemy is like being targeted by a poisonous snake in the dark. I really don't know what to do. Yanano said comfortingly. I have met him before. Although we are not enemies, we are definitely not friends either. But we have made an agreement that we will not interfere with each other. Because of this, as long as you, the Kizuna clan, are willing to cooperate with our Uchiha clan, it will be equivalent to drawing a line between you and him. He should stop coveting your Guidang clan. If not, it will be equivalent to invalidating our previous contract. I will fight him and will not let him succeed. Guidang Ryue finally smiled and said. In fact, if it was within the scope of this mirage, I would not be worried about Hozuki, but he is a teenager after all, always likes to run around, and even yells that he wants to collect ninja swords to become a Mizukichi. I am afraid that one day he will run away again because he can't be contained here. In fact, if the Hozuki clan, which was later excluded, had not undergone a huge change, some people tried to regain power, but instead caused the clan members to scatter, it would not be so easy for Orochimaru to capture Hozuki. Chapter 91. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yang Nai saw what she meant and said. If there are indeed clues to the ninja swords next to Mangetsu Kazuki's skeleton, then considering our alliance, I can help him become one of the 7 ninja swordsmen. Why does she sound like she has already become the Mizukichi? In the future, let Miss Ryue's cousin stay with me for a period of time. I will ensure his safety. Guidang Ryue nodded and said, in this case, I will trouble you, Lord Yang Nai. Hey. What's going on? Guidang Shueyu yelled in dissatisfaction. Why did you dig up Brother Manuel's grave? Bastard, stop it, didn't you hear me? Do you want to be chopped? Bastard. Kazuki, who didn't know the truth, was angry at the servants of the Kazuki family who were gathered around the cemetery. The Uchiha clan watched the digging of graves in more places. It is better to let others do this kind of thing. It would be taboo to interfere in this matter, Kazuki said helplessly. We have heard that the whereabouts of the lost ninja sword is hidden in Mangetsu Kazuki's tomb. If we don't find it first, when the Mizukichi or the elders blame us, our clan will be in a very passive situation. Are you talking about the whereabouts of the ninja sword? Hozuki Suigetsu's eyes suddenly lit up, and then he grinned with his fangs showing. Brother Manu, did you really leave the secret there? I have been wondering who will keep these secrets after the disbandment of the first generation of the 7 ninja swordsmen. I didn't expect that it was far away and right in front of me. He was still chattering, but his sister Gui Dang Ruoyu slapped him on the head, splashing a puddle of water and shutting up. He blinked his purple eyes twice and stared closely at the ongoing excavation. Halfway through the excavation, several servants of the Gui Dang family suddenly screamed, their bodies burned by some high-temperature gas. Sure enough, the grave of Brother Manua is not that easy to dig. This is the sealing spell hidden inside. Looking at the circle of black sealing curses on the coffin, the two of them couldn't help but frown. Yang Na also saw all this from a distance. She was a little overwhelmed when she saw this. Our Yang Na is not good at any sealing spells, and it seems that none of her people are good at this. If you rashly use violence to destroy it, it might even start some self-destruction program, and then everything will become a bubble. While Yang Na was hesitating, she saw Hozuki Wakatsuki thinking about something, and then suddenly formed a long series of extremely complicated seals. In the Sharingan, you can see that the chakra in her body is fluctuating at a certain strange frequency. After a while, the seal on it was naturally unlocked. Is it the family secret technique of the Hozuki clan? It seems that the Hozuki clan is worthy of being a ninja family that emerged from the mountains of corpses and blood in the Warring States period, but it's a pity that the number of people is a little dwindling. Just as he was thinking about it, Hozuki Shueiwa suddenly let out an excited shout, holding a scroll in his hand and cheering with joy. Found it! It's the legendary super powerful scroll that can summon 7 ninja swords. With this, I can become one of the 7 ninja swordsmen. Oh no, I can become the 5th Mizukage, ha 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 ha. Well, it seems that this guy really can't change his habit of plotting loudly. The 4th Mizukage is still alive and well, but you can't help but plan to launch a coup. You are worthy of being the original character with a rebellious mind, as he unfolded the scroll with 7 Chinese characters written on it. 3 of the Chinese characters lit up. Yang No recognized those Chinese characters. They were not the 4 Chinese characters that appeared in the 4th Ninja World War in the original work. They were the first ones long, the character blunt, and the character explosive, in the expectant eyes of everyone. The next moment, in front of Suigetsu Hozuki, for clouds of smoke rose up, and 3 ninja swords appeared. One that came out was a long sword like a fishing rod with a silk thread at the end, the sewing needle, and a blunt knife like an axe. The duki, the last one, was a black straight blade like a scroll, the explosive knife. Famo, Suigetsu Hozuki seemed to be in disbelief, and pinched it hard, but then, regardless of the pain, he rushed towards the 3 swords, as if he wanted to take them all for himself. The next moment, his figure was directly knocked away by Suigetsu Hozuki. Hey! Can you read the air a little? At this time, Hozuki Suigetsu also came out of his water state. He spoke to Uchiha Kazu, who was walking over with his beheading sword on his back. Hello, uncle. What did you say? Uchiha Chiaha, who was only in his early 20s, turned around immediately after hearing Gui Dang Shueiwa mock him, and said with an unpleasant expression. I said, how about a deal? Give me that beheading knife and I won't kill you. Little devil, you. He was about to speak, but suddenly realized that he couldn't argue with a child, especially since his boss hadn't spoken yet. He looked at Uchiha Haruno and said. Lord Yang, this weapon does not suit my usual habit of using ambidextrous weapons. I am just holding it temporarily as a trophy. As long as Lord Yang Nai orders me to do so, I can give up this knife at any time and give it to anyone. After all, this is one of our bargaining chips, as you said, not my private property. In addition, I can feel that this knife does not recognize me as its master. It seems to have some connection with the scroll. Hearing that he was clear, Yang Nai said with satisfaction. Okay, I'll keep the knife for now, to prevent others from coveting it. As for you. She looked at Gui Dang Shueiwa and said. The beheading sword has been clearly identified as a trophy with Sabuza. I plan to hand it over to the Hidden Mist Village in the future. What? Gui Dang Shueiwa said somewhat dissatisfiedly. There are so many 7 ninja swordsmen in the Hidden Mist Village, and they are eager to defect from the village, but you are doing the opposite. I have never seen anyone as strange as you. Hozuki Kazuki smiled at the side. My brother's mind is indeed not very mature, please forgive me, Yang Nai said. We will stay here tonight. As for your brother, let him choose one of the 3 remaining ninja swords and use it first. If he can, he will be able to officially become one of the 7 ninja swordsmen in the future.